Guys, we have an update of all updates.
Yeah, we do.
Megan Fox, MGK, we know that they apparently broke up just because of something that she saw on his phone. All we know is that they were in Aspen together. She left, he left. They haven't been seen together since then. Obviously, she's like 4 or 5 months pregnant with their baby.
Yeah, they just made the announcement 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. So what she found on the phone, text messages, not to one woman, not to 2 women, but to multiple women.
What did I say yesterday about the way I perceive this man? He just seems like somebody who needs outward validation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the fact that it was multiple women.
Yeah.
And these aren't just like, I liked a girl's photo on Instagram. Like, no, these were text messages. Like phone numbers were exchanged, not DMs. Like that's... Mm-mm.
I stand by this. This man is baby-esque, needs that, like, he needs someone to tell him how great he is, how he's doing a good job, how beautiful, how amazing, what a unicorn person. And his partner, Megan Fox, does not seem like the type that wants to do that.
Mm-mm. Well, and friends of hers, because she hasn't said anything, he hasn't said anything, but their acquaintances, specifically her people, are like, listen, Megan's going to be fine.
Of course she is.
She's just not going to take this beep
Yeah.
from him or from anybody. Like, because everybody going, dang, she pregnant. Like, that's a vulnerable state to be in.
Listen, there's a special place in hell. Whoever makes any pregnant person feels less than. Like, even right after you have the kiddo, like coming from like an Ethan Slater vibe, you just had the kiddo and you're so vulnerable. Your body's at such a weird state. But Megan Fox has like inner strength, and it's probably why he feels like, and I'm not excusing it, I'm saying like their character seems like it would not align in the way that he just needs to be babied. And she's so strong, so independent. I might be projecting because, like, I also would fall in the same category of, like, I'm not going to baby you, grown man.
Needy as hell.
Yeah.
What were you saying yesterday, Mike, that, like, God, did you read something or somebody, something about her people versus his people? I'll think of it in a minute, but, like, about this situation. Essentially, what Brittany is saying is right.
Yeah, well, I will just say this did come out a few hours ago as well, that people, which again, we know where the call's coming from when it comes to people, are saying that pregnant Megan Fox has been distraught since Machine Gun Kelly split and said that she was completely blindsided by this whole situation.
Dang.
So they're really trying to play up that side. I know what you were referencing is she's strong, she can get through, which I totally, agree with. But right now on people, they really want the image to look like she is crushed by this whole situation.
Which I'm sure she has too. I mean, there's a lot. She has
both.
Yeah, 2 things can be true. It's definitely one of those things too where she has been with him during like the throes of his addiction. And I know this from personal experience. When somebody in your life quits using, you think our lives are going to be so much easier. And the reality of it is, if the person doesn't deal with the root of the problem, like, you're dealing with something called dry drunk. And I'm saying this as an alcoholic, is like, if you find yourself still doing the same patterns, like, it's so heartbreaking for people that are like, I've been with you and now that you've quit drinking, but if the patterns still remain, that's just brutal.
And I do want to say this People article continued with the line, sources say they've always been bumpy and there's definitely a possibility that they could reconcile soon.
Leave the door open.
And then it goes on to say they love each other, but they definitely have compatibility. They don't have personalities that are very compatible. They're both hotheads. They're both dramatic. They're both stubborn, according to this source. When they're good together, they're great. When they're bad together, it's awful.
And they're engaged, right? They're not married.
They are engaged.
That's what I thought. It's been a long engagement, and it's been a hard engagement. And like, I think, and I, again, say this with somebody who has a kid, and that's why, like, a lot of times you try harder. I could see her trying again because now they have this kid that is together. And I don't mean any shame with that. I mean that in the way of, like, sometimes that thing you go, all right, this is worth one more go. So I
And it's been about 5 goes by this time. So agony and ecstasy. We heard the words that he used yesterday in his GQ article. Agony and ecstasy. That is how they describe their own relationship.
Was it, like
they'll be back together.
What was it was a the most painful.
The darkest fairy tale.
The darkest fairy tale.
Agony and Ecstasy, the darkest fairy tale. It should be a book.
Of like dark fairy tales. Can we talk about the best story on the internet right now? Joe Burrow's house got broken into while he was off playing in Dallas. That is not the best story on the internet.
No.
What happened and who made the call is, I need you to know that there are two women named Olivia in this thing. So we are going to call Olivia, who's his girlfriend, and the other Olivia, or caller. Okay. So Joe Burrow's house gets broken into. A woman calls the police and says, "Hi, my daughter, she works for Joe Burrow. His house is getting broken into. She doesn't know what to do. Should she go outside? Should she call 911? The operators are obviously like, yeah, call us. The person who works for Joe Burrow,
He's saying with parentheses, but nobody can see that.
Oh, right. Sorry. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the parentheses. So the person who works for Joe Burrow then calls themselves and says, yeah, I don't know what to do. Do I leave? How do we work out this situation? End of story. No big deal. You're like, oh, it's a little weird. It's in the middle of the night that someone's at his. She's like, I'm staying at his house while he's out of town. We find out that this person who, quote, called police and, quote, worked for Joe Burrow, Olivia, is actually a Sports Illustrated model. So it's weird. It's like, what are you doing working for him? Are you his secretary? Do you clean his pools? You're house sitting his dog? I don't think so. This is all intense because Joe Burrow is engaged to a different Olivia.
No way.
So while Daddy was out of town playing, caller Olivia was staying at the house, like engaged fiance Olivia. Where was she?
What? Also, can we acknowledge that these football players, they need some sort of security systems? Like, what is happening? This is the second time we've heard about this.
Mm-hmm.
And he just bought the Batmobile, so he should have had the Batmobile out front, and that would have scared away any criminal.
Thank you.
But I will say, he and his girlfriend, the girlfriend Olivia, we haven't seen them on social media much lately, and the engagement rumors were months ago. There's a chance they just weren't together.
Yeah, there is a chance. Yeah, she had a ring in a photo at one point.
Yes.
And
this
a teammate
was
said they were
7 months
engaged.
ago or something. So I don't know.
Or she could just be hooking up with other Olivia.
There is that as well.
I'm dying.
She's just sitting there eating watching her Netflix, chilling out in this monster house while he's out of town. She's like, I'm just trying to be my Sports Illustrated self, and somebody broke into my house.
Maybe she does clean pools on the side. We don't know, Kendall.
We don't know what we don't know.